Hi everybody, so today's video I'm going to be going over how to paint on your instrument. Today I'll be painting over one of my 5-string basses. It's actually the only other 5-string that I have. I have been using it quite often for the last little while. It is an Ibanez SRMD205. We're going to need a lot of towels. Some towels rolled up for the neck piece, just so it rests on top of it. Another towel for the actual body. This is quite important because if there's anything on the table, you could just leave a lot of scratches on your bass. Now, of course, this doesn't matter too much, simply because we are going to be painting the bass. However, you also just don't want to get into that habit of accidentally damaging your finishes. Another reason why we need towels is because it creates stability for the actual bass, so it's not shifting around when you're working on it. So of course, first things first, we need to remove the strings. Need some screwdrivers. I actually have about 3. Also, be very careful when you're unscrewing the neck. Just go slow and go one at a time crisscross. I also put my small parts onto a towel so it just doesn't roll. To place my parts in so they don't get lost. You also want to have them separate from each other so they don't get mixed up. You'll need some Allen keys, and of course, very important, please categorize everything you have. Be sure that you have them in bags. I can't stress that enough. when it comes to the wiring, be sure you take pictures. I know this is something that not a lot of people do. I personally do. I need something to refer back, so when I put parts together, they should look a particular way. This is also optional. A lot of people, actually most people, they cut the wires and they take out the pickups and everything. This time, I know I've been told 1,000 times not to do so, but I'm doing it. I'm actually leaving the wiring inside and I'm just closing it up. I have done this with the last instrument, which was the Iceman. It works perfectly fine, so you just have to be very careful. Of course, if you know how to solder and you know you can put it back together, then please do just cut the wires and take out the pickups. Of course, put them in bags. If not, then you could do this, but once again, please be careful. Next, we're going to clean the base. Wear some gloves, grab a clean cloth, and just wipe everything down. Wear the gloves since we don't want the oil from our hands to be all over the base. And now we're going to put some painter's tape, just in areas where we don't want any paint to be getting on. When you do this, be sure not to touch any of the areas you do want painted. Some people wear gloves. I didn't, I kind of risked it. Once again, you can take out the pickups by cutting the wiring. I didn't. I know it's against the rules, but just be careful, please be careful. There's always the risk that you may damage the pickups, so please be warned. You may damage your pickups by doing this, but I'm taking the risk. So what I normally do is I put painter's tape over the pickups and put this plastic over that, and then I put even more painter's tape right on top. up the back plate for the wiring, be sure you get tape all over the crevices so none of the paint seeps through. Same thing goes with the pickups. Be sure when you're putting tape over the pickups, there's no possibility for any of the paint to seep through and or around the pickups. When we're finished taping up the base, we want to grab a clean cloth, a new one, and wipe it down again. As soon as we're finished disassembling the base, with all the parts being in bags, we now want to put it in a box so none of these pieces get lost. Moving on to sanding, we're going to want to remove any bracelets, rings, and of course we are going to want towels, 400 and 600 sandpaper, a mask, and gloves. When I sanded, I decided to go outside. Of course, you want to wear a mask since you don't want to breathe in any of this dust. It's just not good for you. Do not apply pressure. Go in a circular motion and sand evenly around the base. Don't go too fast and don't go too slow either. You don't want to be in the same spot for too long. Be sure to have a clean cloth with you to wipe down an area after you've done sanding it. As you're sanding, you also notice that your gloves will get dirty quite quickly. Be sure you have spare ones. Actually have a lot of them. Same thing with towels, of course, have a lot of them. Once you've finished sanding, of course, grab another cloth and wipe everything down. Make sure everything is nice and clean. And when you do this, of course, wear new gloves since the previous gloves probably have a lot of paint residue on it, or finish residue on it rather. And that concludes my video for this week. Next week, I will be spraying my paint/primer onto the base, which is the most exciting but also scariest part of the process. I hope you guys liked my video. Please share and comment down below. I know I'm probably going to receive a lot of criticism based on how I do things, but that's okay. Like, I do like the feedback, but you know, this is just how I do things. Of course, if there's something that I missed or that I could have done better, please just let me know. I do like to learn. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I love you all.